Hey, what's up, Exit the Matrix family? Bob here. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you had a chance to see some of the eclipse, or at least partial eclipse, depending on where you were at. Sorry, it's so dark here. I'm just heading to work, and I started the video on the strip of road that there's not a whole lot of businesses or anything around. But anyways, really kind of interested in what everybody experienced yesterday. I was able to get off work and get home in time about an hour before the eclipse reached its, furthest point for us here in the Smoky Mountains. And we only got about 88% coverage, but it was still pretty spectacular regardless. But it was kind of curious for me. I hung out on my deck. I had a good view of it. However, it was cloudy out here where I'm at yesterday. But it was not real heavy clouds. It was just like a few layers of clouds, which was nice because it actually filtered out a lot of the sun's light. So it made for some really great pictures and video that you could very easily see the eclipse. You could see the sun, but without the glare of the sun. And in fact, it was clouded enough that at points I was able to sneak some peeks at it, just raw, looking at it without the sun's glare, but you could still see it through the clouds. So a lot of people were complaining that there was cloud cover in a lot of places they were at viewing it, but here it was just enough cloud cover, but not too heavy cloud cover that it actually worked in our favor here. So, but what I found curious was that a few things, honestly. First was when I was filming and it was starting to get a little darker out here, and we didn't get total eclipse, so it never got totally dark out. It just kind of got that dusk feel, right before the sun goes down over the horizon. But it was still light out and everything. But it was kind of odd. It was just kind of a palatable feel, It just kind of feels like nature and everything was kind of taking a deep breath, like everything was just slightly out of balance for just a moment while it was going on. I don't know if any of you witnessed that feeling. Just see, I live in the middle of nature. I live in the middle of the Smoky Mountains, so you're always surrounded by animals, by the squirrels and by the birds and everything, and it was just kind of that energy that I was sensing, the energy of nature all around me. When you live in nature, you become a little more attuned to it because you're always surrounded by it than maybe if you live in a city or something. But that was expected. I know I've heard about birds change their flight paths during eclipses, and like sometimes animals go quiet or animals become agitated, depending on, I guess, how the energy affects them. But definitely a very palatable energy exchange going on. And what I noticed was I got off work and I even grabbed a coffee on my way home yesterday, just because I wanted to be, have that boost of energy, have my nerves a little, I don't know what's the word I'm trying to say, just kind of have everything a little more zoomed in, my nerves and my mind and everything. Just, I get it. Caffeine's not always good for you, but for me, it does have a way of kind of focusing my attention and my nerves and everything. So anyways, I had a coffee before I got home, so I was all prepared, and I ate like just a real light, easy lunch. on my deck while I was watching this unfold. But what hit me was afterwards. Once it started, after it made its kind of furthest coverage, and then it started moving back away, I went inside at that point because my neck was hurting. I was cutting a lot of little short videos and taking tons of pictures, so from kind of bending back and looking up through my phone and watching it and everything, it was my back was starting to get sore. So I went in and I sat down, and my son got home from school at that point, which was unfortunate. His school didn't let them out early so that they could witness it. They held him to 3:10, and here it hit around the furthest point was around like 3:02 in the afternoon. So that was kind of unfortunate. They didn't let any of the high schoolers out early to see it. I'm sure it just had to do with, they didn't want to get sued or something if a bunch of kids were staring up at the sun, and so liability, I guess, is probably why they didn't let him out early. But anyways, he got home, and by the time he walked in the door around 4 o'clock, I was just feeling totally drained. I mean, I was sitting down, updating some of my social media, and I was just getting super sleepy, and I had a headache yesterday too. I don't know if very many of you had a headache, but it does seem like a lot of people did experience a headache and some other physical ailments from this. I posted on my Facebook account, Exit the Matrix account, and a lot of people said that they got tired and took naps after it, and that they also experienced headaches and such. Some even dizziness, and some other like tinnitus and stuff like that. I did get extremely tired feeling from it, like very drowsy. And like I said, folks, I had just drinking a full coffee. Usually if I drink a coffee when I get off work, it gives me a second wind. And I do that sometimes when I go home and I got a lot of like videos to work on, or I've got work around the property and, other things. And I need that, like that afternoon boost, to keep going. But regardless of that, this overpowered the coffee like it was absolutely nothing. And I had a headache yesterday from about noon on, and it wasn't too bad during the eclipse, but it was about an hour after that it really kicked in. And that was when the fatigue started kicking in. And so I laid down in bed and actually decided to take a nap, and I put on YouTube, one of my favorite Reiki YouTubers, just to have some Reiki healing, long distance healing going on in the distance to try to get rid of the headache. And I laid in bed, and I can tell you what, that I started feeling the Reiki really just intensified it. I started really feeling energy pulsing through my body, and it was pretty powerful, but I did end up falling asleep. I ended up taking a 2-hour nap, and when I woke up, it felt like my body was just vibrating like insane. It was like I could feel vibrations going up and down my body just nonstop, and the Reiki video had already ended, and my wife was home. She was cooking dinner, and my son was he was taking a nap also on the couch. And the miraculous thing, which I knew it would work, the Reiki had taken away the headache. For those of you that are against energy healing, that think it's demonic or something like that, you're really missing out, folks. My wife is a Reiki master, in fact, and So I've gotten Reiki on and off through probably the last 7-8 years of my life. But I find when I need some quick Reiki that there are YouTubers that do long distance Reiki. And you got to use discernment when you're looking for the right one. I have a few that I really do like, and I trust their technique, because a lot of them are just gimmicky. A lot of these people that do it, they aren't even really doing Reiki. They're just doing ASMR and just total just BSing it through, you know. However, the real Reiki practitioners will do the real symbols and will use the real Reiki words of intention. So, and obviously when it's a real Reiki person, you obviously feel the energy work start taking place right away. So you know that's real too, and not just some scammer on YouTube or something. So those of you that think that's all evil and everything, folks, all energy comes from the source, from the creator of all. So there's nothing evil about Reiki. It's just channeling the energy of the universe, essentially, the quantum field. But anyways, we'll do a video on that some other time. A lot of misconceptions about Reiki and where the energy comes from and such. And, you know, of course, it always goes back to religion. You know, it's demonic. It's, you know, whatever. You know, it's evil and such, because, you know, anything that's not understood and anything that was told to you in the Old Testament not to do is evil, even though a lot of times that's the stuff that you should be learning and everything, because that's what empowers you as a fractal of God, of Source. So anyways, folks, back to the effects of the eclipse. So I got to thinking when I woke up and my body was still vibrating heavily with energy. My headache was gone at this point. I felt refreshed because I took a nice deep 2-hour nap. I mean, I thought it was like 15 minutes I fell asleep, and the 2 hours went by pretty fast. But I started meditating in bed and just thinking about the eclipse and what I experienced, the energy wise, and it started making me think about other things that I've been researching and studying about the planets, about the sun, about astrotheology, and, you know, energy being tied with the planetary alignments and such, and events like we witnessed yesterday. And I started realizing that there's a reason why all of the ancient gods always align themselves with certain planets. Like the Anunnaki were known for this, and so were the Egyptian gods, you know, and the Greek gods, Roman gods and such. And let's be honest, the Zoroastrians, and you'll even find this in Judeo-Christian, and the Muslims, all of them are tied to these, and they can deny it all they want, but they're full of it. When you look at the basis of these religions and you look at the astrotheology teachings in these religions, it makes sense. The Anuna, the Anunnaki, the hierarchy, the royal bloodlines, Anuna, we're always connected to planets and such, and constellations. The son of Enki, Marduk, he was always connected with Mars. He was a god of war. Then you had, of course, Thoth, Ningishita, was always connected with the crescent moon and with the planet Mercury. And of course, the Muslims, who worship Allah. Well, if you follow Allah back to the beginning of where the worship of Allah started and what it was based off of, just like the Judeo-Christians, the Muslims are unbeknownst worshiping Nanar Sin. Nanar was one of the Anunnaki hierarchy. In fact, he was actually one of Enlil's sons, who was Yahweh in the Old Testament. Nanar Sin was the sun god of ancient Mesopotamia. And that is why the crescent moon is always so highly used and symbolized in Islam. They are very connected with Nanar Sin, and that is Allah. A lot of these entities that masqueraded as gods in those ancient times, I think they realized that you could channel energy from the planets and certain alignments and from the sun and from constellations and such. And it's interesting to note that in my deep studies that I've been doing into OBEs and NDEs, some of the people have come back and they've talked about how planets and alignments in the heavens, in the constellations, actually can act as portals, as energy portals. And possibly as portals for travel. You know, I don't know if that'd be astral travel or interstellar travel or interdimensional travel, but these have all been alluded to by some people that have come back from OBEs and NDEs. So I kind of find all these things interesting. We don't know for sure. I'm just speculating here, folks. But that's how my mind works. That's why I study such a wide variety of subjects, because you start to find things in different subjects that actually connect everything together like a giant web. And so I guess what I'm contemplating about yesterday was that eclipse some kind of energy portal, and that's why so many people got headaches from it and so many people got fatigued. But everybody says that after they took a nap or meditated, that they woke up refreshed and feeling invigorated. And I felt that way. Like I said, I woke up from my nap still vibrating heavily, like I was getting hardcore Reiki done on me. But the Reiki video had ended probably 45 minutes before I woke up. It was about an hour and 15-minute video, and I was asleep for about 2 hours. So in this morning, I feel very clear-minded and invigorated also with like a newfound energy. So what I'm kind of thinking was that not only was that eclipse event some kind of a portal, energy portal, but that it also could have possibly been a download, like a spiritual download and like a metaphysical download, and possibly even a bit of a physical download, at least to the human avatar, to the mind, to the brain, to the body. So I'm going to be very interested in the weeks to come to see what the after effects of this are going to be. And it is interesting to note, folks, that the governments tried to put everybody in a fear mind state before this event. Wasn't that odd? Think about this. How many states declared a national emergency, national preparedness call across their counties and states and such? They had everybody fearing earthquakes and had everybody fearing, mass hysteria and, who knows? It was like they were trying to scare everybody, but without directly stating why people should be afraid, right? And now there could be possibly earthquakes and some natural events that happen over the next few days, folks. This is known that this can happen when there are solar eclipses because it changes the polarity temporarily of the Earth. It changes the magnetosphere. It changes the energy field around the Earth and gravity pulls and such. So there are actual changes or effects that can happen to the Earth from an event like that. So we could see some natural disasters and such, but I think a lot of what was going on, folks, is that they understand that these are energy portals, these eclipses, and that they could be some kind of downloads to humanity and upgrades to us, and perhaps they cleanse us. The sun is very powerful, folks. If you've never done sun gazing, I'm telling you, it is amazing. What I like to do sometimes is on a full sunny day, I'll go out on my patio and I'll tilt my head towards the sun with my eyes tightly closed. I obviously don't look directly into the sun, but I allow the sun to hit my eyelids, and I allow that sun to absorb. And you actually, after a while, you go through this process and it just feels like the energy of the sun just totally like invigorates your body. It's something I've found that I do occasionally, and I found that it invigorates me and empowers me. And I don't know if any of you have also tried that, but I enjoy it. So I think they were trying to put us all in a fear mind state before all this to try to offset the positive things that we were going to get from this. And it's almost more like they were trying to hide it too. A lot of people are claiming that they were doing hardcore spraying of the skies. If you get my point there, I'm pretty sure you're not even supposed to talk about this on these social media sites. Just more, just more control of our language and our expression and, and speech. More censorship. But I know you get what I'm saying. So a lot of people said that before this eclipse, that they were heavily clouding up the skies on purpose. And that was to try to block out maybe some of the effects of this. I gotta admit, even out here in the Smokies, it was quite clear in the morning with just a few clouds. And then, of course, about 2 hours before the eclipse, it started clouding over. But like I said, it kind of worked in our favor out here because it wasn't a total cloud cover and it was light cloud cover. So it actually filtered the eclipse and allowed it to be more easily seen. Very sharp detail without the glare of the sun. But I think they were possibly trying to counter the positive effects of this solar eclipse. And that it could have been some kind of a download to us. So, anyways, folks, I'm just talking about my experience. I'd love to hear yours. A lot of interesting comments yesterday, but definitely the common thread was that many people had headaches yesterday, some even hardcore headaches like migraines, and a lot of people had to take naps. They felt fatigued, they had tinnitus, and some got vertigo and some other ailments like that. However, most of those people did say that after they took naps and rested for a while that they felt invigorated. So who knows, folks? With all the evil stuff going on in this realm, with them trying to bring in this transhumanism and with these technologies that are being put in people's bodies, some willingly and some because of the ones that willingly did it, makes you wonder if this event was something that could have maybe fried, if you get my point, some of the technologies that may be inside of us, and that the universe has a way of healing the earth and its creatures when it needs to be done. And I think this will end up being a positive thing, folks. Yes, we could have some natural events that occur because of it, but you got to realize too is that the earth is a living organism itself. So the earth was getting an energy transfer from the sun in this event. The earth was getting possible upgrades to its energy makeup. And so this could have been a healing event for the earth itself too. So that's some positives to contemplate and meditate on. I would love to hear what you experienced and your thoughts on this. But I feel really good today. I feel very clear-minded. I feel empowered and very positive, folks. All of their fear-mongering, I never fell for it. I hardly ever fall for their fear-mongering, folks, because I understand that they are trying to manipulate us through trauma-based mind control and fear-mongering and such. And this is how they control the populations. And the reason for this, folks, I've stated this many times before, is because they fear us awakening of what we truly are, and that is that we are fractals of the source, of the creator of all, and that we are co-creators, and that we have direct ability to interface with the quantum field, and that we can manifest in this realm, and that we are essentially immortal spirits having a human experience while temporarily experiencing this realm. And they fear the day that we all realize that, because that is when they lose total control of us, and their systems of control and evil will dissipate at that point, folks. Because the love and light always conquers the darkness and hate. And just remember, folks, that this is not just an external battle going on. This is an internal battle. We all battle our own demons. We all have a dark side. When you come into this realm of duality, you not only take on the avatar of a human, you also take on the shade of a human. And that means that you have a light side and a dark side. And that's part of this experience, folks. Because in the other realm, you are close to source. You do not experience the duality and the negative and the darkness and the hate. So this is the realm where you come to experience all of that, so that you can grow spiritually. And this is what most NDE and OBEs talk about. So I am talking about explaining what they explained. I have not had an NDE or an OBE that, at least that I'm aware of, that at least I can remember. But I feel that this totally resonates with my spirit, and I believe it to be true, what these people have experienced, and they come back and explain. So if you have not done any research into NDEs or OBEs, I would highly recommend it. Just like if you have never had Reiki done, just go to YouTube and just try, folks, just try laying down, doing some breathing techniques, and listen to a YouTube long distance Reiki session. And I guarantee you'll feel the energy and the healing that can come from that, because we can heal each other, folks. And the people that are doing the Reiki with intentions to heal people and to help direct that source energy into you to heal you, and you allow that, they are doing God's work truly. And that's something that you can experience if you give it a chance. And I think most of you will find that it is not demonic. Those that claim it's demonic, they are under a demonic spell themselves, and they do not realize it. They do not realize that the God of this realm that rules over the duality is not the creator of all, and that this God has been masquerading as the creator of all since the beginning. And they fall for this lie over and over, and it's so hard to break people of this spell. They say that experiments that have been done, that typically what they find is about only 25% of humanity or less does not conform to most of what society does. And those are truly mostly awakened people typically, because when you can see through all the lies, the programming, and see through the matrix for what it is, once you see that, you can never go back in the matrix. It's pretty hard to become a cipher at that point, folks. And once you realize that you're actually Neo and you're the one that was sent to save yourself, then your whole paradigm changes. So, okay, folks, I love you. I appreciate you. Remember what I got going on about those that would like to donate to Exit the Matrix to grow this platform. I will give you a half an hour of my time for a $25 donation. I'll give you an hour of my time for a $50 donation on Zoom. And I booked some of these and had some of these already. They were fantastic, made some great connections with people, learned a lot, taught a lot, and I would love to have a one-on-one with you. So think about reaching out to me. One of the best ways to reach out to me is just through Messenger on Exit the Matrix Facebook. And anyways, folks, I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I love you all. Talk to you later.